Afternoon, fellow YouTubers and deadheads. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Chillin' with the Pool. I'm your host with the most, Pirate Master Deadpool Supreme, back at you with another exclusive episode that is guaranteed you're gonna like. So today, like you said, you probably read in the episode description that we'll be covering. That's right. 2 comic book reviews for the price of 1. You heard correctly, a 2. It's a 2 for very rare exclusively for this channel. So, and you're gonna love this one. What it's gonna be about: Spidey Pool. That's right, everyone's favorite, fan favorite ship is being brought exclusively to this channel. Allow me to introduce you to the one that I have in question. And ta-da! It's Kidpool and Spider-Boy. That's right, Marvel's 2 new breakout characters are hitting the scene for this exclusive content. And of course, Kidpool, according to MCU Kidpool, the other one, I think they called Toto, I think is probably not in this one. Oh, wait. He probably is. But then again, I'm not telling. And of course, you got Spider-Boy, aka Bailey Briggs. And what these two have in mind for mischief? Oh, well, I'll never tell. Then, of course, for the second issue, we'll be covering, ta-da! The Pool Illuminati. That's right, the Deadpool Corps is back, baby, and bigger than ever, with all new faces and with all faces both old and new. Featuring from Frog Pool, Mouse Pool, Cat Pool, Dog Pool, Duck Pool, and so many other pools. They call it the Pool Illuminati. That's right, and all of the celebrate April Fool's Day. That's right, it's Deadpool, the guy who's too cool, ain't no fool, and the best there is at what he does. Anyway, moving on. Just a sec, folks. We'll be right back after this brief commercial break. And we're back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be covering a 2-for-1 special today. So enough gabbing. Let's get started, shall we? We'll start with this one right here: Spider-Pool, Kidpool, and Spider-Boy. First issue. So, as you can see, Kidpool, MCU Kidpool, is making a name for herself on the Marvel scene by pissing off pretty much every crime organization on the planet. From Silvermane, I still can't believe he's still alive. Seriously, kill this guy already, or just let him die already. Seriously, he's like 180 years old. You think he deserves to die? And you got Rose. I mean, seriously, Richard Fisk. I think Kingbreaker was more badass and everything. I mean, come on, Rose. Seriously, what are you, like Poison Ivy or something? No. Anyway, then you got Hammerhead, the Magia guy, who is pretty much a literal Hammerhead. And you got AIM, who couldn't invent anything useful to save their own skin. Crime Master. Oh yeah, Brandon Brandt, or whatever Betty Brandt's brother's name was. Then you got Mr. Negative, and yes, the Lobos Cartel brothers. Seriously, the pair of werewolves. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I really never would have thought of that. And then of course you got Thanos, which I say, come on, what is this, like 2018? No, hard pass. And boom, literally, just like Robin and Batman, Kidpool bursts onto the scene with armed with nothing more than chainsaws and water guns and Nerf pistols. Yep, my kind of artillery. I mean, the Nerf pistols and stuff like that. I mean, no, don't get me wrong, I love the heavy duty stuff, but you gotta respect the classics, man. That's right. And then, of course, you got Leland Owlsley, who pretty much is just basically trying to copy Wolverine. The claws, the hairstyle, I mean, come on, they're basically trying to knock off Wolverine already. So apparently, like her adult counterpart, MCU Kidpool, or I'm just gonna call her Inez, because well, that's the name of Ryan Reynolds' daughter who played her in the movie. So Inez here wants a contract. So like Deadpool, he also is a merc for hire. And of course, her target to kill is none other than the Amazing Spider-Man. And through a perceived lens, she misconstrues all Spider-Man's good deeds as villainous bad deeds, like saving a lady's purse from a purse snatcher, beating up Electro, helping an old lady cross the street, and apparently just eating a donut, which she misconstrues as a bagel. And she says, that trustworthy owl guy was right. Trustworthy owl guy. Yeah, Leland Owlsley is a part of Daredevil's Rogues Gallery, and even he's not that trustworthy. Just saying. I mean, not Daredevil, I mean, like, Leland Owlsley. That guy is pretty much all different kinds of shady. Then, of course, Bailey Briggs, a.k.a. the new son of the phenomenal Spider-Boy, or anything else that's working in the, anything else kind of a title, just sound off in the comments below. Or not. Anyway, she becomes immediately flabbergasted and or awestruck by Spider-Boy, and who wouldn't? I mean, the costume design, the hair, the fact that he can turn into a spider and actually communicate with spiders shows that he really does have potential, and gladly that his series is still continuing. And of course, she falls off here. She literally falls. This next part's hilarious because she literally, quite literally, falls for him, physically and romantically. And of course, she lands like this, like a body-shaped outline in the street. I've seen only stuff like this in Roadrunner cartoons. So I'm glad that they're keeping true to the Looney Tunes fashion. So it's nice. And of course, she becomes absolutely smitten with him. So, and like in Deadpool fashion, she bugs the crap out of him until he bites her, literally. Now, of course, you wouldn't say biting a girl until like the third date or so, but in this case, he uses his special venom to paralyze her. And of course, the Spider-Boy confiscates all of her artillery, and it's from this moment on that she becomes truly infatuated with him. Of course, Bailey needs advice and needs a girl advice, so she turns to Spider-Man. Now, of course, our Chad Spider-Man actually has a lot more experience than he lets on to be. But then again, the Marvel editors pretty much treat Spider-Man like trash, so we're not going to count them at all. Because let's just say they don't know how to write a good character if their lives depended on it. And if it were, they'd already be dead. Spider-Man actually warns Bailey to keep away from him. But like I said, Kidpool has a contract to take care of, and like Deadpool, she too has a healing factor, and apparently wields lightsabers. How cool is that? Seriously, a kid wielding lightsabers. Come on, can you be more awesome than that? Then with squirt pistols and everything else. Kidpool's like, then Kidpool just rattles off about Spider-Boy, just wanting to know like his name, his address, wants to know if he's single or not. That sort, the kid sort of thing. Yeah, of course, and before you guys say anything in the comments, that's actually congealed web fluid. It's not whatever you think this is. It's not. And not remotely what I meant. Okay, so anyway, Bailey ends up patrolling and trying to avoid Inez, aka Kidpool, but he ends up getting a vision. A vision ends up running into the male Deadpool, like the adult Deadpool. And look, he even breaks the fourth wall in true Deadpool fashion, says, "Nothing to see here, kids. This is an all ages book. No blood, no bones sticking out, just a nice clean slice, like a lightsaber did it." Wink. And of course, you can see that this is a book that was made for all ages because, of course, Deadpool's arm is completely missing. No blood, no gore, no nothing. So Deadpool really does stay true to form. And of course, now Deadpool and Spider-Boy have to actually battle the Adaptoid. Yep, it's like the Super Amazo's Adaptoid, the one that can. Adaptoid. The one that can copy people's powers just from watching them fight. Kind of like Taskmaster in a way. And apparently the Adaptoid ends up turning into a spider version of Deadpool and Bailey, I believe it is. And then it basically says, unnecessary, kill. And he literally tries to stop the android by biting him. Yes, you are looking at this correctly. Spider-Boy is literally trying to bite an android. He says, "You're attempting to bite an android." And he goes, in conclusion, intelligence level, non-threatening. That's pretty harsh, even from a robot. It's like, and of course now he's friends with another Adaptoid that's actually taken on the form of a toy, which is actually pretty cool. If you haven't read that already, go pick up Spider-Boy #1. I highly recommend reading it. I did, and it's pretty cool. It says, "Then that Adaptoid is malfunctioning and should be destroyed just like you." He goes, "Insert fourth wall breaking joke here." Of course, that's Deadpool for you. And look, just in Deadpool fashion, he cuts off his own head. Well, you know what they say. Some Deadpools are very self-loathing. And of course, you might be wondering who Stegron is. Well, apparently he's just a dinosaur like Sauron who mutated himself into using dinosaur DNA. And apparently this chick, whose name Jennifer Jensen, or whatever the hell her name is, I really kind of thought this was kind of, back and forth and stuff a little bit. Anyway, she teams up with AIM just so that she can make her lifelong dream of becoming a dinosaur hybrid come true. That's pretty much all you need to know. If you want to learn more details, pick up this comic wherever comics are sold. Then, of course, Kidpool comes in to save the day as Stegron tries to threaten Spider-Boy. Threaten Spider-Boy, but in true Deadpool fashion, she comes to the rescue, and, Jurassic jerk. There's no curse in there because it still kind of works as being Jurassic. So he tries to shoot Stegron with Nerf darts. Yep, you heard correctly. She uses Nerf darts. One little kid after my own heart. So then this Dr. Jensen, or whatever her name is, turns into the Archon. And like that, and I think their story kind of parallels these two. One, she clearly is in love with Stegron here, and just like how Kidpool is in love with Spider-Boy. Spider-Boy. So villains and heroes roll team up stories. They always run parallel to each other. Everything. Now, of course, Stegron is initially afraid of commitment because he thinks that, it's so bad. It's like, it's like she couldn't possibly understand. She's just a crazy stalker I just met a few minutes ago. Why should I bother with her? And then she ends up creating this little clone army of cute little plush dinosaurs, like from Puff the Magic Dragon, so to speak. But they actually bite. Turns out as it revealed, they're actually robots and everything. And then the two of them start to argue, saying, there are children. It's like, it's impossible. I tried to kill you. And it's like, no, I meant to go in for, we could populate the earth with our babies, a new age of Saurians. He goes, I've been trying the whole thing for years, but not the baby part in general. So while they're fighting, Kidpool and Spider-Boy kind of start warming up to each other. And this is I think it's hilarious from Spider-Boy that describes Kidpool in a nutshell. She's what happens if you try to give a cat a bath. And believe me, if you've tried, it's not good. And you will definitely not like the results. So the two eventually start to warm up to each other, and Kidpool really does start to warm up to Spider-Boy, seeing him beyond the romantic infatuation. He's a good kid, and with a lot of potential going for him. They fight AIM and dinosaurs together. So how much more cool is that? And of course, after all that, they do a unique superhero pose. I mean, look at that. Can you believe it? These two are pretty much fight back-to-back crane style if they would, which off panel they probably have. And so Archon, that's her name right here, Lady Archon, Archon ends up pummeling Kidpool into the ground. Spider-Boy tries to knock her away, but then she reveals her intentions. Like, all my life I was alone in my love of dinosaurs. He's like, everyone loves dinosaurs, but she apparently is romantically infatuated with dinosaurs. She finally found someone that's actually in love with her, feel alone in this world, and you'd stop me? It's like, yeah, I guess. You're raising a lot of good points, though. She's a super villain. That's what we do. We stop her. I'd rather die than live another day without him. And as it turns out, Stegron is actually touched by Lady Archon's romantic profession of her love for him. So he just actually starts warming up to Archon, and then the two actually start kissing, much to Spider-Boy and Kidpool's utter disgust. And then Kidpool starts to realize, ugh, bad. It's like, I changed my mind. Kissing is gross, and union is gross. You need to stop. And considering that they're 10 years old, I'd say that this chick definitely fits the bill. The two dinosaur villains end up actually pairing up together. And guess what? Kidpool shoots them in the head with Nerf darts. That's not the best part. Boom! Turns out they're explosive Nerf darts. Can you believe that? It's so like Kidpool. Anyway, now that Spider-Boy's finally warmed up to Kidpool decides to just brush the whole thing off and decides that the crush was just merely a fad that just came and went. It's like, that was hours ago. So apparently she has extreme ADHD. So it's like, it came and went. Yeah, and that's pretty much the end of the story. Spider-Boy actually wants to see Kidpool again, but Kidpool, well, let's just say her mind is as fickle and disoriented as Deadpool's. So, what are you gonna do? All right, so that's the end of Spider-Boy and Kidpool. I think these two make a nice crime-fighting pairing, and I hope that these two actually get to be paired up again more often, because their dynamic chemistry pretty much mirrors that of the adult Spider-Man and Deadpool from the earlier editions. Because I think this pairing, or crime-fighting duo, really does have potential that any talented writer could unearth. This one did, so what's to stop any of them else? So yeah, that's Kidpool and Spider-Boy for you. If you want to learn more about their adventures or about the different characters, be sure to check out the Marvel Wiki or pick this issue up wherever comic books are sold. Now then, on to the main event. Pool Illuminati. That's right, the reemergence of the Deadpool Corps. Including yours truly. See? I really do find a place where I can actually belong. With these crazy a-holes. The Pool Illuminati. Or as I like to call them, the reemergence of the Deadpool Corps. That's right, and to which I am a proud member. It says, it starts with the prologue. Wade Wilson, a.k.a. the Merc with a Mouth, a.k.a. the Regenerating Degenerate, is a deadly contract killer, sensational superhero, and one of the wisest wisecrackers around. His healing factor makes him a formidable force in the for-hire assassin business, or in my headcanon, the Heroes for Hire program. Together with his daughter Ellie, and their symbiote dog daughter, or I'm just going to say their symbiote dog princess, they bring the pain as Deadpool and Daughters. Little daughters of Deadpool. And then, it issue basically just starts off with Deadpool cutting someone in half. Yep, true Deadpool fashion. I tell you, the authors of these comics let's just say that Deadpool is the only character I think that is the only character that's impossible to mess up. Because he's so chaotically erratic. I mean, you can have him like being a villain, bad guy 1 minute, and then a hero one, and then an anti-hero, my preferred anti-hero status, better. So it's like, he's pretty much one of those characters that's impossible to mess up. Whereas for other characters like Spider-Man, Cyclops, maybe like Wolverine or whatever, Deadpool's just one of those characters that's really impossible to mess up. It's like, depending on the different writer status, you really can't screw him up. So anyway, Deadpool decides to take his daughter Ellie Camacho to work. Now I think that this continues off an earlier issue where while Deadpool was incapacitated, she took up the rank as Deadpool, or Girlpool, whatever you want to call her. Ellie Wilson has joined the family business. She wants to spend more time with her dad, and that's nice. And considering how he pretty much erased his mind in the Jerry Dugan run just to prevent anyone from knowing about Ellie, or just whatever. But thankfully, she's been trained by Taskmaster and actually is joining along with her father in this Take the Daughter to Work day. And apparently, they go after these human traffickers. Now, Deadpool really wants to set a good example for her daughter and not let her give in to these, murderous impulses. I mean, this is Deadpool we're still talking about, but he wants to set a good example. He wants to actually try to do right by his daughter. But then their precious daddy-daughter time is interrupted by a mysterious hooded figure who comes at the behest of the Deadpool Corps. A clandestine society of the greatest minds in the universe who maintain order by keeping their proverbial thumbs on the scale of power. Yeah, that's basically not what Deadpools do. I mean, they do. They stop the threats that even cosmic entities like the Elders of the Universe wouldn't be able to handle. Just read the original Deadpool Corps run by Colin Bunn. You'll see what I mean. So anyway, Ellie gets red flag vibes from this guy, and rightfully so. He's pretty much mysterious. But Deadpool, being the erratic, carefree mercenary that he is, pretty much jumps in without asking any questions. Ellie is really hesitant on going along with him, but she says if there's anything even remotely red flagged, then they tag out. So they end up meeting at this friendly neighborhood house. Yes, believe it or not, this really is a friendly neighborhood house. The others are waiting downstairs in the basement, and she's like, it smells like they have a cat. Dollars to donuts saying that they have a cat. And then, guess what? Surprise! It's the Pool Illuminati, all new members of the Deadpool Corps. There you have Vaudpool, from vaudevillain to vaudehero. Nice play on the term vaudevillain, vaudeville. Then you got Swimming Pool, the guy who actually owns an in-ground swimming pool. A nice play on that word. Then you got Mouse Pool, who appeared in the Deadpool Holiday Christmas comic. Then you had Valley Pool, the Deadpool who's like totally rad but got like a super good score on her SATs. Yeah, Valley Pool. I really don't know about her, but hey, new faces, new places, whatever. Then you got Loop Pool, pretty much the guy who speaks only in palindromes. Or palindromes. The words that are spelled the same backwards as they are forwards. And everything. So, there's that. So I got that. My legs are starting to cramp up a little bit. And of course, the leader of the Pool Illuminati is named Brainpool, who in my headcanon is the governor of Deadpool City, home of the Deadpool Corps, and their various branches. And of course, Ellie is pretty much just trying to figure out what the heck is going on over here. As it turns out, Brainpool was actually kidnapped by a terrorist organization in hopes of utilizing his vast intellect to reach out and secure all the vast amount of resources and treasures and all sorts of wonders that lie within the multiverse. Now, Ellie is very protective of her dad, for obvious reasons. I can't say I blame her, though. She says, for some reason, my dad really wants to join your little club, so if this is some kind of trick, you might not want to be here when I get back. Understood? And she's like, doodles! She really is, Ellie Camacho Wilson really is Deadpool's kid. I swear to God. I knew I should have worn my Jungle Adventure gear, and it's like, see, this is what I was picturing for the Pool Illuminati, something with a bit more gravitas. And while I admit, it does look pretty dope, I prefer this looks more like a villain's secret lair, if anything. But, given Deadpool's tendency to flip-flop between hero and villain, I'd say that's not too far off. And then, the daddy-daughter team is ambushed by a giant robot, the Transformer/GoBot that looks just like Deadpool. I'm so sick of robots taking our jobs. Whatever happened to the human touch? If that's not insert geopolitical modern day commentary here. They fight, so they fight, and then Ellie is knocked out by the robot pool. A Deadpool, and being a good father, goes in and is in for the win. And then uses a portal gun or something to trap the robot with inside. He goes, oh, my legs. It's like, that's not a very robot thing to say. As it turns out, this GoBot was actually piloted by a Wade Wilson himself. A Wade Wilson. Ellie's suspicions were correct. They had been set up. Oh, you think? And as it turns out, this new suspicious, surprisingly well-dressed man is Brainpool, the governor of Deadpool City and the leader of the Pool Illuminati, with his own team. This is Dwarf Pool from Middle Earth. And yes, he says Earth, not Earth, because apparently copyright issues. What are you gonna do? Then you have Samurai Pool, a garden of blood, awaits the man who crosses, this lone samurai. Apparently this is some kind of I think it's made up to be like some kind of haiku, but you can interpret that as you will. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. And as it turned, and that's not even the worst part. For years, I led the Pool Illuminati, only to see our ranks diluted by useless dullards, so I broke off anew. He calls it the Pool Illuminati, which is basically just the exact same name, but with two L's. With one or two L's. Honestly, I think the name was just so lazy. You could have just chosen the Deadpoolopolis or something different. I mean, I would have gone with either Deadpoolopolis, Deadpool Corps 2.0, or something else of that nature. But hey, what would I know about knowing stuff? Am I right? I'm just a fan. So apparently Brainpool is ambushed by Ellie, Deadpool 2099, Ellie from the distant future. And of course, my personal favorite, Lady Deadpool herself, Wanda Wilson. That's right, Wanda is back and better than ever, baby. Then you've got Kidpool. Actually, not MCU. Yep, not MCU Kidpool, the OG Kidpool from 2010, called Tito. And then you got Frogpool. It's basically just a frog in a Deadpool costume. Is there anything more cuter than that? Kidpool, Frogpool, are you kidding me? This is why I left in the first place. You turned this organization into a joke, 2099. Sure, we sell more merch now, but what cost? And then, of course, you've got a Deadpool Civil War going on here. And, of course, I'm joining any side that my girl Wanda Wilson is pretty much on, cause, 3 words. Slay, Queen, slay. So you see, they're turning the cogs, and with the cogs, okay, basically this is just some evil genius Illuminati thing. And by the way, I'm actually kind of picturing him to be voiced by Kelsey Grammer, because he also voiced Beast in the live-action X-Men movies, because those are cool. So anyway, Brainpool double-crosses Deadpool, surprise, surprise, and stabs him literally right through the back. Yup. And then, of course, all the pools begin fighting each other. Begin fighting each other over their lazy-ass name. So while this commotion is going on, Ellie ends up trying to see what her dad is, tries to come to her dad's aid. She then says, I don't understand. Why'd you want their approval so bad? It's like, not them. I just want you to be proud of me. You know I am. You don't need to prove anything to me. I know, but I am. But if I'm not good enough for you, how am I good enough for all? Just rest. I'll be right back. Where are you going? It's like, to kill that Fraser son of a... who stabbed my dad. Fraser. Like Dr. Fraser Crane from the TV show. For those of you, for the younger viewers who don't watching, please go check that out. It's hilarious. Alright, no mere human weaponry is matching for my dwarven craftsmanship. And of course, Lady Wanda Wilson, Lady Pool, kicks him right through the face. He goes, thanks to the tip, Frodo. He's like, actually, Gimli was the dwarf. Whoop, whoop, nerd alert. And Kidpool's like, shut up. Their dynamic is just like a kid brother and his older adult sister. And it's like, let's see how much oxygen is useful for your brain. Then of course, Deadpool 2099 ends up goes to a final confrontation with Brainpool, and for the last thing, Ellie Wilson uses her special daggers to throw right through Brainpool's massive brain, thus lobotomizing him. Yeah, that's it. There was a lot going on here, so bear with me on this. Nothing distracts a nerd like a temporal paradox. Quick thinking. I think it's nice to see Ellie Wilson from 616 interacting with Ellie Camacho from the year 2099. It's like they're two twin sisters, in a way. So I was like, I hate to sound stupid and all, but what the hell just happened? He goes, Brainpool has been a thorn in my side ever since he was elected Grand Maestro of the Pool Illuminati. Yes, I said Grand Maestro because that's his talent. Apparently his acclaimed title. He chose the name. Anyway, he thought if we turned the Pool Illuminati into a popularity contest, he preferred more intellectually pure organization. If you want something like that, try the Spider-Verse and stuff. Again, the Deadpool Corps. Oh, that would have been an awesome idea for a comic. Spider-Verse versus Deadpool Corps. Or all of them teaming up just to battle one giant multiversal threat or anything. Or, seeing Wanda Wilson, flirt with Lady Deadpool flirt with Spider-Man. Or Spider-Girl. Whoever you want to pair up with. I definitely would read that. Pimps up, hose down. Well, we are down a few members, and they're like, you know what? Maybe we can make this Pool Illuminati thing work. So how do they do it? By throwing a kick-awesome pool party. Yep, that's right. You got Valley Pool and Wanda Wilson battling it out with Deadpool. Now this is what I call a society of geniuses. He says, yep, the Pool Illuminati first annual barbecue. Well, a nice way to welcome the new members to the team. And then you got Ellie Wilson just talking with her future self. So that's both cool and actually, you know what? It is pretty cool. You get to see Ellie Camacho talking with her future self. Kind of like two twin sisters. With this level of elite in the Pool Illuminati, think how much more power we can exert across our lands within plans and stuff like that. Besides, this kind of meeting is way more fun. And apparently, Brainpool likes to be lobotomized. He says no, he takes the pressure off needing to be so smart all the time. He seems a lot happier. You know what they say? Ignorance really is bliss. Not to say, except, but if you're from the future, heck, you even talk like him now. So, is he ever okay with just being himself? Is he ever happy? First of all, I'm pretty sure I'm only from a possible future, so let's not dig too deep into that. And second, Ellie, come on in. Lady D and Mousepool challenged us to a chicken fight. A chicken fight. Can you believe that? Now that's a way to go out on. I think you already know the answer. Come on, I don't think Mousepool can swim. It's gonna be hilarious. Oh, I'm not missing that. Cannonball! And that's pretty much the end of the end of the story. So yeah, this was the Pool Illuminati. I think this was a very good read. I picked this up on a purchase from Amazon, so this was definitely a good one just in time for April Fool's Day. And if they produce more Pool Illuminati or Deadpool Corps Resurgence books, I think that the Deadpool Corps could make an excellent comeback, for which I am a proud member. So yeah, as you can see, that's our show for today, folks. We covered 2 comics for the price of 1. Feel free to pick them up on either on Amazon or wherever comic books are sold. Well, we're just about out of time for for today's episode. I'm your host, Pirate Master Deadpool Supreme, here on this. Tune in next time when we dive into another fun-filled episode. Will it be Marvel? Will it be DC? Will it be something different? Well, hey, only time will tell. Until next time, true believers, Excelsior!